All right, so this is the summer of speed, right? Or maybe it's fall or winter and you're looking to train and race a 5K. This is such an exciting distance because initially you think, wow, a 5K, 3.1 miles, I got this. Well, if raced correctly, it could be harder than running a marathon. So, what do you need in order to train for a 5K? First and foremost, you will need consistency. That is the key to any type of training. You want to be consistent. And the best part is that the consistency gets to be your decision. You get to decide how many days a week you want to run. The most important thing is that you stick with your commitment. So if that's 3 or 4 days a week, I highly recommend not running under 3 days a week. For a 5K, 3 to 4 days a week is awesome. That's great. Pick out the days during the week that you're going to run and then stick with it. Schedule it like it's a meeting on your calendar and a meeting with yourself and your wellness and your training and your commitment to yourself, and you will feel so good just check marking your training each day of each week for your 5K training. Next up, you also want to recover hard, right? So part of running and stressing the body is also making sure that you're recovering hard. So what does that look like? Recovery can look like a lot of different things for a lot of different athletes. Primarily, it looks like post-run stretching, Epsom salt baths, foam rolling. You can also focus in on making sure you get enough sleep. So sleep is the number one recovery tool for runners. Focusing on nutrition and hydration. Those are two huge aspects, especially in the summer months, to focus on to make sure that you're getting the most out of your recovery, which is going to set you up for success heading into your next workout for the week. Next up, we have building up your mileage. Now, this is going to be really important. You'll want to build up your mileage slowly. Obviously, like most of the time you probably hear about this 10% rule, and that's fine. I think it's also about listening to your body and knowing where you are. So building up that mileage slowly once you build your schedule, and also increasing the intensity along with that mileage when you feel like you get to a good point. Now, speaking of intensity, we want to talk about what are the gears that you train for the 5K. The running gears. So you want to train your VO2 max. Now this is fast. This is going to be faster than 5K pace. This is going to be short intervals. So I would say 30, 45, 60, 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes if you're advanced, but nothing really over that in increments. So you could realistically run like 10 by 30 seconds, 8 by 1 minutes, 6 by 90 seconds, 10 by 90 seconds. That could look like 10 by 400 meters on a track, something like that. It's going to be faster than 5K pace. And then you're going to train 5K pace, right? So train race pace. This is a great way to program your body on what 5K pace feels like, how you want to feel. It might feel a little bit harder during training because you have the fatigue from your training, but know that 5K pace is a great place to train. I like sprinkling it into one run. It could be a track workout, it could be the long run for more advanced runners, and it could look like 2 by 1 mile, maybe 2 by half mile, 2 by a mile, 2 by a mile and a half, as you progress through the training cycle. Next up, tempo. Tempo is such a great place to train. It's going to be much slower than 5K pace. It could be realistically like 15 to 20 seconds slower than 5K pace. It's a pace that you're able to hold for up to 60 minutes if I asked you to. So a pace that you can realistically hit. Oftentimes you'll see about a 20-minute tempo in a 5K workout or a 5K training plan. Build into it. If 20 minutes seems really intimidating, because ultimately, even if we want you running that 60 minutes at this tempo pace, it doesn't mean that you have the fitness to run 60 minutes at tempo pace right now. So if 20 minutes seems intimidating, what you can do is break it down into increments. 4 by 5 minutes, 2 by 10 minutes, something like that. It's really fun to be able to break down the increments, take a little bit of standing rest, and then get right back into it and find your groove. And oftentimes those second, third, or if you're doing 4 intervals, they feel better than that first interval. So don't give up, keep moving forward. Next up, you have the long run. So the long run is another gear. It's like 5 gears on a hand, and long run is gear number 4, and the long run is so important. You really want to build that long run. Ideally, the long run is going to be 7 miles or longer. I really like double the distance. So double the distance realistically is 6.2 miles, but getting up to that 7 miles or beyond is a great place to be if you are a very competitive runner. If you're a runner who's been running for a long time and you've stacked a lot of marathon training cycles, you have high mileage weeks, then you can take the long run up to 16 if you want to. Let's say you're running maybe 60-mile weeks, or 55-mile weeks, something like that. The 16-mile long run still serves its purpose if you're in that place. But if you're just starting, a 10K for your long run's awesome, and then building into it as you go through the training cycle, or maybe that's your peak long run, and that's okay too. And then next up, we have the gold, the running gold. It's called the easy days and the recovery days, and they're so great for so many different reasons. They build the aerobic foundation. They build, really set you up to be able to run on fatigued legs. And it's a really great place to be, to have a lot of easy miles in your training cycle, to be able to recover from your hard workouts, to recover from your long runs, to run on tired legs, to build the stress, but also build the foundation that you're gonna need to be able to run a fast 5K. All right, so that's training for a 5K. Now, what in the heck do you do when you get to race morning and you see the start line and you're not sure what to do? Do you just jump in and start running? I know some people do, but no, that's not what you do. I mean, you can, but best practices is to eat an awesome breakfast that morning. And that breakfast looks like a lot of easy, simple carbohydrates. I love a bagel with a little bit of nut butter and a banana. It could be graham crackers. It could be oatmeal if that works well with your stomach. It does contain more fiber, so make sure that you practice what you're eating the morning of your 5K in training so you know that it works for your stomach. And ideally, that's going to be 90 minutes to 2 hours before the 5K. You show up to the 5K, you have a 2 to 3 mile easy jog. Easy, just shuffle out there, just get warmed up. And then you'll stop. You have dynamic stretches, which could be like a quad stretch, knee to chest, hamstring sweeps. They're fast, they're dynamic, they're 1 to 2 seconds, and they keep your body happy, healthy, and they loosen up maybe anything that feels tight. Figure 4s are great for stretching out the hip before going into a fast workout, which could be a fast 5K race. Then you'll also have some drills. This could look like butt kicks, high knees, A-skips, karaoke or grapevine. It could look like hand to toe, some squats, some really light squats, just skipping around, moving your upper body, a lot of different things to just get you ready and loosened up to go crush this 5K. Next up, I love, and this is something my coach has implemented with me over the last year, a 3-minute light tempo. And why do I love this so much is because I've seen the value in this. And the 3-minute light tempo is awesome. It's known as the transition 3 minutes. So it's not easy and it's not race pace, but it's in the middle. And if you want to look at it at maybe like half marathon or 10K effort, it's 3 minutes. It should feel comfortably hard, but not taxing by any means. It's to get your body warmed up, get the legs breathing and working, getting your legs moving and working and feeling good, and then taking some standing recovery. Next up is 90 seconds, maybe a little bit faster than that last interval, but not as fast as 5K. Again, you're just getting a little bit faster, you're warming up, you feel good. Next up, 4 by 20 second strides or 2 by 20 second strides if that serves you. Those are just bursts of speed, accelerations, into the stride and then decelerate once you get through the middle part of that stride. So if it's a 20-second stride, you're building in for the first 10 seconds and then decreasing for the last 10 seconds. And that's fast. That should be mile faster than mile pace when you're at your very peak for just a few seconds. Next, there's a next. It's just standing recovery. Don't worry, there's nothing else. Standing recovery, take a gel, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, really like focus. And I love visualizing the race. Head to the start line. Ideally, your warm-up is finished about 5 to 10 minutes before the race starts. I get local races that's really easy to jump into. For bigger 5K races, like the Chicago Marathon has a 5K this fall, that's going to be a harder one to just jump into. So know what you can and cannot do, but don't stress yourself out too much to get into the starting corral. And then the gun goes off, start. You cross the start line, it's time to go, right? So what do? So you take that first half mile at a 7 out of 10 RPE. It feels comfortably hard. Your breathing is fine. It feels like a pace that you could definitely maintain for 3.1. And then I like to have the athlete transition for that last half mile of the first mile of the 5K into 5K race pace. So you're gonna come in at maybe just a few seconds under your goal 5K pace, and that's okay. Mile 2 is gonna be right on 5K goal pace. And then when you get to mile 3, that's when you get to start to kick, but don't kick too early. Just start to get a little bit faster. So maybe you're trending 2 to 3 seconds faster. So you're able to average out goal pace between miles 1, 2, and 3. And then when you have maybe about 200 meters to go, or you click, your watch clicks over to mile 3, you know you have 0.1 to go, it's time to kick it. Give it everything you got. Pain is temporary. The 5K loves to provide pain, and know that you can do hard things, and this is only going to last for maybe 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds, maybe 60 seconds, depending on your pace. But know that you can do it, you can do hard things, and you just crushed your first, or you just crushed your 5K. It could be your first 5K. It could be a 5K that you finally decided to race. It could be a 5K PR, but congratulations. I'm so proud of you. You've done a great job through training, through race morning, and executing a really smart race. So that is how to train and race a 5K. Thank you so much for watching today. If you are looking for more content, you can follow me on the Elevate Your Running YouTube channel. I also have a podcast with co-host Austin Myers, and we are on Instagram at Elevate Your Running. And my personal Instagram is Sara, SAYRAH, runs happy. Everything is in the show notes. Thank you for watching.